Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kung nais umasenso, manap ng trabaho, o di kaya'y subukang magnegosyo. Lumikha ng produkto't sikaping lumago, inspirasyon mong pagkapiko. Katuwang ng gobyerno sa iyong tagumpay, iisa ang ating hangarin. Pag may abilidad at oportunidad, tiyak na ang lahat ay uunlad. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan.
Walang iwanan.
Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan.
Sulong Pilipinas.
Go, 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 kababayan. Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kayaw magtipid sa iyong mga pangarap. Sige-sige sa pagsisikap. Asenso'y sigurado sa hinaharap. Manalig lang palagi sa sarili. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan.
Walang iwanan.
Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan.
Sulong Pilipinas.
Go, 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 kababayan. Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan.
Habang nakatigil ang mundo, habang ligtas tayo sa ating mga tahanan, may mga pumiling manatili sa harap ng digmaan. Laban sa COVID-19. Para sa inyong patuloy na nagpapatakbo sa makina ng bansa. Para sa inyong laging nakaabang sa ating mga daungan at paliparan. Para sa inyong nagtatawid ng aming mga pangangailangan sa kalsada, karagatan at himpapawid. Para sa inyong mga nagbabantay sa mga warehouse at terminal. Para sa inyong mga nakikipagsapalaran sa daan. Para sa inyong naghahatid sa amin ng malasakit at kabayanihan. Kayong mga frontliners sa logistics at supply chain. Kakibat kayo ng mga tuktok, NARS, sundalo at pulis. Patid namin ang mga sakripisyo ninyo at pagtitiis. Kasama ang buong sambayanan, kaming lahat ay nagbibigay pugay at puso-puso papasalamat sa pagharap ninyo sa tiyak na pahamak para sa bayan. Mabuhay kayo, mga bayani ng bayan.
umasenso, manap ng trabaho o di kaya'y subukang magnegosyo. Lumikha ng produkto't sikaping lumago, inspirasyon mong pagkapiko. Katuwang ng gobyerno sa iyong tagumpay, iisa ang ating hangarin. Pag may abilidad at oportunidad, tiyak na ang lahat ay uunlad. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan.
Walang iwanan.
Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan.
Sulong Pilipinas.
Go, 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 kababayan. Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kayaw magtipid sa iyong mga pangarap. Sige-sige sa pagsisikap. Asenso'y sigurado sa hinaharap. Manalig lang palagi sa sarili. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan.
Walang iwanan.
Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan.
Sulong Pilipinas.
Go, 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 kababayan. Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan.
Habang nakatigil ang mundo, habang ligtas tayo sa ating mga tahanan, may mga pumiling manatili sa harap ng digmaan. Laban sa COVID-19. Para sa inyong patuloy na nagpapatakbo sa makina ng bansa. Para sa inyong laging nakaabang sa ating mga daungan at paliparan. Para sa inyong nagtatawid ang aming mga pangangailangan sa kalsada, karagatan at himpapawid. Para sa inyong mga nagbabantay sa mga warehouse at terminal. Para sa inyong mga nakikipagsapalaran sa daan. Para sa inyong naghahatid sa amin ng malasakit at kabayanihan. Kayong mga frontliners sa logistics at supply chain. Kakibat kayo ng mga tuktok, nurse, sundalo at pulis. Patid namin ang mga sakripisyo ninyo at pagtitiis. Kasama ang buong sambayanan, kaming lahat ay nagbibigay pugay at puso papasalamat sa pagharap ninyo sa tiyak na pahamak para sa bayan. Mabuhay kayo, mga bayani ng bayan.
For MSMEs who are enlisting in the DTI Reboot package or shifting to online selling platforms, here are the services that you can avail of. Free onboarding to e-commerce platform, free emailing invoice facilities and online payment, free training and one-on-one mentoring, free seller support during incubation, free advertising support through social media, discounted shipping and delivery costs, access to loans. Internet solutions, starter kit, free website development, loan and financing, loan package for product development, packaging and production, credit score, crowdsourcing. And for marketing, there will be digital ads, boosted and geo-targeted ads in social media packages, assist seller merchandise creating content descriptors. And for onboarding, shipping and delivery costs, discounted rates, MSME seller performance from setting up to incubation to selling, free sign up with platform, online payment, promote online payments, free email invoicing facilities that accept credit and debit, Paymaya, and skills building by providing free access to webinars such as the Control Biz Reboot Now. Magandang hapon po. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Pangalawang session po natin sa araw na ito. And this is actually the third day of the 3-day Control Biz Reboot Now Series 3. Nahatid pa rin po sa inyo ng Department of Trade and Industry, particularly po ng ating pong e-commerce office. Mga kaibigan, pinapasalamatan lang po natin lahat po ng mga nanonood sa buong bansa. As of this morning po, ang data na nakuha po natin sa mga nanonood po ng Facebook Live for day 1 and day 2, umabot na po tayo ng more than 55,000 views. And for Zoom, day 1 and day 2, okay, there were already a total of registered participants of 4,217 and unique Zoom views na 1,937. And nakita rin po natin, fully subscribed na po yung ating Zoom para sa mga sessions natin ngayong araw, and we're really very happy na ang dami-dami po sa inyo ang talagang interesadong matutunan or malaman kung ano po yung mga programa natin na hatid po dito sa ating Reboot Now or Control Biz Reboot Now. Let me just take this opportunity of greeting ang ating pong Director General ng Intellectual Property Office, si Director General Attorney Roel Barba. Thank you for joining us. And happy birthday po to our very good friend from Regional Director of DTI Cordillera Administrative Region, RD Mirna Pablo. Kumusta po kayo dyan sa Cordillera? Pinapanood po namin yung mga pinapadala nyo mensahe dito, and we have a lot of MSMEs and not only DTI MSMEs, large companies monitoring our Facebook Live and even our Zoom program. Ngayong hapon po, very interesting, dahil we've been talking about selling platform, we've been talking and we have actually allowed yung mga partners natin to also introduce their respective companies. Pero ngayong hapon, napaka-interesting po dahil ang pag-uusapan po naman natin ay tungkol sa mga bayaran. Sabi nga, di ba, parang kung ang dati-dati, tayo ay napupunta doon sa, alam mo yon, nagbabayad tayo ng mga produkto o services na kinukuha natin sa mga MSMEs or who are the service provider in cash. And nakita naman natin ang daming disadvantage, di ba? Hindi natin banggitin yon. But dito nitong nakaraang, itong nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic where hindi tayo nakakalabas ng bahay, we've seen the importance, the relevance, at saka yung significance ng paggamit po ng e-payment. Okay? So, ito, ngayong hapon kasama natin yung pong ating mga enablers, yung ating mga partners na nanggagaling sa mga e-payment platforms para po i-explain sa inyo. Lalo na alam natin mga MSMEs ngayon, maraming gustong itanong. I-reserve na po ninyo yung mga katanungan dahil we will all acknowledge and read as much as possible all your questions. Pero kung hindi po natin masagot, we have all the bodies of our guests this afternoon who will also be answering directly dun sa Facebook account po ng DTI e-commerce at pati na rin po dito po sa Zoom Q&A. At isa pa, very interesting po dahil hindi lamang po yung ating mga e-payment platforms officials ang nandito, but we will also have an official from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Central Bank, who will be telling us more about, yung functions nila being the regulatory body for financing and all that dito po sa Pilipinas. So yan po, na alam ko po marami sa inyo nag-aabang na. So at this point, papakilala lang po namin isa-isa, but we will give each one a time later, Kasi humingi po kami sa kanila ng mga deck nila kung paano nila gustong introduce yung kanilang sarili. So, introduce po muna namin sila ng picture lang po muna, and then later on, we will ask each one to say something and just greet our viewers. So, we'd like to start off with the Managing Director for FinTech subsector of, ang title pala nating lumalabas is Moving Away from the Old and Cashing In with the New Modern Money Management through Online Payment. Yun po yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon. And ayan po, ang ating po mga bisita ngayong hapon, if you just roll the slides please. Okay. Galing po sa Central Bank of the Philippines, Managing Director for FinTech, we have Vicente de Villa III. Okay? Lumabas na ba siya? Ayan siya, Judith. Okay. May tumawa. Picture niyo yan, sir. Kinuha namin. Actually, may mga quotable sila. And this time, coming from Union Bank, ang Vice President po. Please welcome po, JP Suliman. Okay, may mga nakuha rin tayong quotes from them. Okay, JP will be joining us in a while. Okay, we'll see him in the flesh, sabi nga. And from GCash, VP Sales Head for Offline Payments, ating po kasama si Justin Yap. Okay, and this time from GrabPay, Country Head, GrabPay Philippines, Johnny Bates. Okay. Akala ko si James Reed, Asik Jean, akala ko talaga siya si James Reed. Pero I was informed early on that he's not a Filipino and I don't know if he can understand Filipino. So there will be times that we'll be talking in straight English, but I hope yung ating MSMEs can also pick up, kasi we will really try as much as possible to laymanize all the things that we will be discussing here. And for Paymaya, the head of business for QR ecosystems, ito po si Raymond Villanueva. Okay, kasama rin po natin, gusto ko lang din banggitin kasi nandito na lang din sila, nasa yung pong body natin, nasa back end, back end natin, mga bodies po. Itong mga bodies, sila po yung mga sasagot doon sa mga questions ninyo para by the time that we're done with the program this afternoon, yung po mga katanungan na nanggagaling po doon sa ating mga kababayan who are watching nationwide. Sana po yung mga katanungan nyo are all related to the questions or to the topic that we're discussing this afternoon para po masagot nila. So we just would like to acknowledge ang staff po ni VIT3, yung pong ating Managing Director from Central Bank. Nandito po si Jay Dezon. And from Union Bank, Buddy, Ira May Guerrero, and Franco Espino. From GCash, we have Iris Lin and Aliana Marbella. From GrabPay, hello Crazy Pasigan. And from Paymaya, we have 4, Martin Mauhay, Ira Sepida, Paul Betia, and John Paulo Goco. Okay, so sige, tingnan muna natin sila. We would like to, siguro this is also our chance of, testing their mic na rin, although we did that early on, just to greet all of you para makita natin and matandaan natin yung mga faces nila and even the voices. May we hear from you? The Managing Director of Central Bank, MD VIT3. Pag-hello lang tayo para matandaan niya. Hello, sir.
Hello, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Great to be here.
Yung mic.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Okay po. Sige, naka-off lang yung cam niya. Makikita natin siya because he will be... Yes, yan po. Hello, sir.
Malayo ba sa picture? Kaya ako natawa na medyo iba na yata yung picture ko eh.
Yes, okay. Sige po, pa-turn on na lang po yung microphone and your cam from Union Bank. Hello, JP. JP Suliman, the Vice President of Union Bank. Hello, JP.
Ay, magandang hapon po. Sorry po, ayaw mag-start to aking camera.
Okay, sige. May time pa tayo to
Ay.
test that. Yes.
Yan, ayan. Magandang hapon po sa lahat ng mga viewers natin. Maraming salamat po for
Okay.
joining us.
Yes, thank you. Gcash, Justin Yap. Hello, Justin.
Magandang
Yan, hello po.
viewer.
Hello, Justin.
Hello po sa mga viewers. Magandang hapon.
Okay. So natest na natin. Basta tandaan po ninyo yung mga representatives natin from GCash, from PayMaya, Union Bank, and this time from GrabPay pala. And this time from PayMaya, Raymond Villanueva. Hello, sir. Hello, Raymond Villanueva.
Good afternoon. Ako, very honored at ako'y natutuwa na makasama kayo. So hello viewers. Sana safe kayo at sana safe din kayo dahil kakadaan lang ng bagyo. So hopefully everyone is safe. So very happy to be here.
Yes. And finally from GrabPay, Johnny Bates. Good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. Very happy to be here.
Okay. So we'll have start screen sharing. Okay. Anyway, yun po yung ating mga bumubuo po ng mga panelists natin this afternoon. So I think we'll really have very good discussion this afternoon. But just to set the mode, pakinggan na po muna natin yung presentation na gagawin ng ating pong regulatory body from the Central Bank of the Philippines. Tinatawag po natin ulit si V3 or MD V3. Vicente De Villa III or Managing Director of Central Bank. Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon. Maraming salamat, Nelly. Actually, before I start, I want to say hello to everyone and I hope everyone's healthy and secure, And also maraming salamat sa DTI sa ginagawa itong mga programang ganito. Kasi ito yung mga programang nakakatulong sa ating mga kamamayan for them to be more aware in terms of being more digitally literate para alam nila na merong mga ganito mga programa, mga online payment na kailangan natin ipaalam sa madaming tao. Particularly those that are not yet using it. Siguro just to put some kind of perspective before I start, I will show you some statistics para lang makita nyo how digital we are. Digital we are in the sense that pwede na marami tayong penetration na nangyayari, maraming gumagamit ng internet. Kaya this is a good way to capitalize on using digital means for payment. As you can see, dito lang I'll just mention some statistics. The average time people spend, at least the adult would be around 3.5 to close to 4 hours in social media. Pag in-include yung buong internet, the statistics, hindi ko lang napakita dito, internet use would be around 9 hours. So there's mataas yung internet penetration. Pati na rin yung pagkagamit ng mga smartphones, yung mobile penetration, pati na rin yung mga tao, adults that are doing transactions. Statistics would show that 9 out of 10 adults have payment transactions. And there's a lot of room for them to convert their cash payments and start using digital platforms. Particularly since nakikita niyo yung statistics, maraming gumagamit ng internet, maraming gumagamit ng smartphones, maraming social media penetration. Kaya sanay yung mga tao gumamit ng internet at saka mobile. Makikita rin natin yan pag umurong tayo dito sa susunod na statistics, papakita natin because gumawa ng study with the Better Than Cash Alliance. It's an arm of the United Nations. Lumalabas that noong 2013, only 1% of the total payments are digital. And pag tinignan dun sa value, only 8% of the value of the total value would be in that digital form. So there is a lot of room that we saw when we updated yung study to 2018. Actually, we did it 2019 using 2018 data. lumalabas yung digital transaction, umakyat. Umakyat to 10% in terms of value, in terms of volume. Pagkatapos in terms of value, umakyat into 20%. So nandun yung momentum. Nandun yung momentum na maraming taong gumagamit ng digital platforms and digital payments. Nakikita rin naman natin yan dito sa ating industry na yun. In terms of ano yung kabaguhan dati at saka ano na nangyayari na yun. Kaya marami na gumagamit ng technology when they actually do their day-to-day transactions. Naalala niyo ba yung panahon nung prepaid cards pa, yung prepaid cards na karton pa na kina-scratch nyo para magka-prepaid load. And na yun, i-click na lang yung yung phone number, may load ka na. And at the same time, ewan ko kung marami rin sa'yo. Ako, matagal na akong hindi nakapasok sa branch. Matagal na akong hindi pumipila. Tapos panay gamit ko na ng mobile payment. Tapos napakadali. All you need to know, all you need to have is an account with either a bank or another electronic money issuer to be able to transfer funds from one account to another. Hindi mo na kailangan pumila. Lalo na yun dito sa ating crisis na COVID na nararanasan, para magbayad, hindi na natin kailangan lumabas. Lalo na yan pag nagta-transfer ng funds from one account to another, lalo yung remittance, hindi na rin kailangan yan. Lahat nagagawa na sa telepono lang. Basta ba may bank account ka at saka yung bank account mo naka-register doon sa banko nyo na pwede siyang panggamit ng internet banking or mobile banking. Yung mga mobile banking naman, may mga mobile apps na pwede nyo i-download para ma-install doon sa telepono nyo to facilitate yung mobile transfer. Napakadali na yan eh. You know, like, naranasan ko nung itong COVID, mabuti naman na itong plataforma natin matagal nang in place, kaya marami nang nakaka-transact ng digital payments. Pero mo isipin natin kung, let's say, tinamaan tayo ng COVID na yun at wala pa tong lahat, wala pa tong plataforma ganito, mabuti yung regulatory framework nandun na. Kung hindi, kung wala pa to, ngayon pa lang tayo nag-digital payments. Paano itong mga businesses? Paano kayo makakuha ng mga bayarin na yun? Diba? There are other things also that I want to highlight on na napadali yung buhay rin natin. Kasi diba, sabi ko kanina, para maka-transfer ng funds electronically or digitally from one account to another, kailangan meron kang bank account. Na yun, yung pagbubukas ng bank account, pwede mo na rin gawin sa bahay. Pwede mo na rin gawin sa digital phone mo. You know, ang tawag doon, electronic KYC. Yung ID mo, yung picture mo, i-vet na, gagawin na sa telepono yun. May mga bangko, may mga electronic money issuers tayo na ginagawa na yun yan. Pati na rin yung pagka-deposito ng cheque. Kung binigyan ka ng cheque, hindi mo na kailangan pumunta sa bangko. Hindi mo na kailangan pumila. Kukunan mo na lang ng litrato yung cheque. Pagkatapos i-upload, process, good as deposited na yun. Diba? Kaya napadali yung buhay natin. Ang marami ng solusyon na ginawa ang through technology that's made our lives a lot easier now, particularly when transacting, particularly when transferring payments. You know, ipapakita ko lang dito sa isang slide na to. Ito, makikita nyo, iba-ibang bangko. Doon sa iba-ibang bangko, mayroong mga iba-ibang tao, kliyente. So, pag kliyente ka nung isang bangko na yan, madali ka makapag-electronically transfer. Doon lang sa bank app mo, sasabihin mo, ito yung account na gusto kong paglilipatan, malilipat na kaagad. Lahat yan available na doon sa mga mobile applications at sa internet banking facility ng mga bangko. Kaya lang, nung nangyayari ito, nung nagagawa tayo ng mga digital payment, maraming nagtatanong, paano kung nandun ako sa bank B at saka yung magbabayad sa akin nasa bank A? Paano ako magbabayad yan? As it is nung dati, pwede lang mag-electronic transfer kung pare-pareho kami doon sa isang bangko eh. May mga concern kami mga naririnig dati na etong business na to gusto tumanggap ng payments, kailang yung nagbabayad sa kanya nasa ibang bangko, hindi katulad nung hindi na sa bangko niya. Eh, solusyon na ginagawa dati is that, hindi, magbubukas ako ng maraming account sa isang bangko na to, sa isang bangko na to, para lahat ng kliyente ko na gusto magbayad sa akin, pwede magbayad na yun. Eh, hindi napaka inefficient nun. Hindi you have to maintain so many accounts just to be able to facilitate yung payment. Ang tawag namin dun yung closed loop payment system. Closed loop because hindi nakakapag-usap yung, let's say, dito sa example na to, yung bank A, yung bank B at yung bank C. Hindi nakakapag-ugnayan yung kliyente dun sa bank A, dun sa kliyente sa bank B at vice versa. Kaya namin binuwag yan. Gumawa kami ng bagong interoperable framework. Doon sa interoperable framework na yan, nakakapag-transfer ka na, nakakapagbayad na yung mga kliyente ng ibang bangko doon sa iyo diretso kung kahit na iba pa yung bangko mo. 'Di ba? Yung mga dating mga merchants or mga suppliers na nagbabayaran, hindi na kailangan mag-maintain ng maraming account sa iba-ibang bangko para lang ma-facilitate yung payment. Yung tawag ho namin dyan yung National Retail Payment System Framework. It espouses on the use of a single account to be able to do all your transactions. So, sort of saying, kung may in-order ho ako sa inyo na business ka, para ako ba't nandun ako sa bank A at ikaw na sa bank B, ang kailangan ko lang para mabayaran ka yung account number mo. At saka syempre, yung pangalan mo. Kaya lang, pag pinoses yung bayad, ang importante yung account number. At saka kung kaninong bangko ka. Kahit na mag-ibang bangko tayo. Lahat yun, magagawa, umuulan man, gabi man, hapon man, may holiday man, or wala. Doon lang sa telepono ko, magagawa ko na yun. Kung wala akong telepono at nawala yung mobile app na yun, dito sa computer ko, basta nakaka-internet banking ako. Yun ang ginhawa nitong National Retail Payment System. One account to be able to address all your transactions, your bank transfer transactions and payments. Kailang i-detalye ko lang, itong National Retail Payment System, may dalawang plataforma. Ang tawag dun sa isang plataforma, dalawa yan, isa PesoNet, isa InstaPay. May fundamental na kaibahan yung dalawa, di ba? Uunahan ko muna ho dun sa PesoNet. Yung PesoNet kasi, yun yung parang ginawang electronic na cheque. So in the sense, di ba, pag nag-cheque, nagsulat kayo ng cheque, kailangan within a certain day na deposito na para mag-clear within the same day para ma-deposit dun sa account nyo the next day. Dito sa PesoNet, parang ganun rin yan. Kaya lang, ano yan? Electronic. In the sense that walang limit yan, matataas na balansyado, pwede kang mag-transact ng above 50,000 or whatever that amount is. Kaya lang, kailangan nakapag-transact ka before yung cut-off period. Diba? And normally, ang mga cut-off period yan is around 1 to 3 p.m. depending dun sa practice ng bangko. Pagkatapos nun, pag na-execute mo na yung transaction na yun, mapupunta na dun sa pagbabayaran nyo before the end of the day. Actually, ano yan, by 9 p.m. By 9 p.m., dapat nakakredit na doon sa beneficiary's account. So, sort of saying, kunwari, may nag-order sa inyo ng malaking pagbabayaran. Di ba? Nag-PesoNet siya. Ginawa niya yun nung alas 3 nung hapon before cut-off. Darating yun sa account nyo by 9 p.m., 9 to 10 p.m. At saka may confirmation advice yun. Yung nagbayad, mabibigyan ng confirmation advice na tumuloy na yung transaction para yung nagbayad, maibigay rin doon sa inyo. Mapakita rin sa inyo. Either i-attach yan through email or pwede rin ibigay through mobile. Napakadali, napaka-straightforward. Di ba? Etong isang plataforma naman ay sinasabi natin InstaPay. Kaya InstaPay yan is because instant, very close to real time. Pag i-clinic ko dito sa akin mobile, nag-transact ako na yun. Kailangan kitang bayaran because sa ibang bangko ka at saka ako nasa ibang bangko, kailangan kitang bayaran ka agad. Ang kailangan ko lang, dapat it's within 50,000 pesos. Pag in-execute ko at sinend, within seconds, milliseconds, meron na akong sagot na sinasabi na credit na, nabawasan na yung account ko na credit na sa pagpupuntahan ng beneficiary account. Now, pag nakuha ko yun, mapapadala ko dun sa iyo. Mapapadala ko either through text, mapapadala ko yung proof para makita mo na bayad na. On your end, yung naka-receive naman mo, kung ikaw yung beneficiary, you can check online doon sa account mo. Pumasok na ba yung bayad na sinasabi sa akin? Makikita mo rin lahat yan through your phone kung may mobile account ka. Kaya napakadali. At saka itong InstaPay, available yan all year round, 24/7. Bagyo mang humahagupit, araw mang saksakan ng init, dire-diretso yan. Diba? Walang paltus yan. No? Ito ho ang gamit natin, alternative to cash. Itong nung nag-umpisa yung ECQ, ito ang daming gumamit niyan eh. Lalo na yung mga deliveries, lalo na pag mga online orders, di ba? Because ito yung mga fast moving eh. Fast moving at saka maliliit na value. Mabilis sa paglipatan, di ba? At saka nung kailan ba yun? Yung pag nagpapadala ng pera doon sa probinsya, basta ba yung papadalan ko may account either sa bangko or sa EMI issuer. Napadala ka agad, ang bilis, di ba? Lalo na kung wala pa siyang account at naka-onboard digitally, nakapagbukas ng account yung pagbibigyan digitally, ang daling mag-transmit ng pera. Ipakita ko lang sa inyo para maliwanag, no? May itong statistics na to ever since nag-umpisa itong InstaPay at PesoNet. Ang InstaPay kasi nag-umpisa lang yan noong April 2018. Biro mo, since April 2018, wala pa siyang, tama, 2 taon pa lang. Ganun ng karaming gumagamit. Ganun ng karaming fund transfer. Ganun ng kalakas ang confidence sa paggamit ng release na yan, ng tawag na InstaPay. Doon rin sa PesoNet, nung nag-umpisa noong November 2017, ang laki na rin ng inakyat. Kaya marami nang gumagamit, marami nang tumatanggap niyan, marami ng institution na nagka-capitalize nitong sa electronic payments na yan. I just want to further just show nung kustrinak rin namin nung ECQ, nung 45 days after ECQ at 45 days prior to ECQ, kung talaga bang maraming gumamit. Ito, pinapakita nga, there's substantive growth of close to 20% in volume as to 25% in value. Pag tinignan natin yung combined PesoNet at InstaPay, pre-ECQ and while under ECQ. Kaya it's a big benefit. Lalo na pag mayroon na kayong bank account or mayroon na kayong EMI account that can facilitate itong pagbabayad at transfer of funds. Ito yung tinatawag naming national QR code, no? I mean, parang ano rin yan, parang I'm sure you're familiar with that. Yung mga tao, yung QR na yan, because right now kasi may mga QR na ginagamit na. Kailan yung QR na ginagamit na, hindi pa interoperable. Katulad yung sinabi ko kanina, gumawa tayo ng national standard na QRPH para yung mga lahat ng mga gumagamit ng proprietary QR magko-convert to this new national standard para makakapag-interoperate sila. Diba? Ang dali nitong QR because all you have to do is scan mo lang yung QR nung pagbabayaran mo. Nasa likod ng QR na yun, yung mga bank account at saka yung details niya. Makaka-remit ka na kaagad. Kasi normally, di ba, ang sabi ko kanina, to be able to make a digital transaction and transfer, ang pinakakailangan malaman is that ano yung bangko nung pagdadala ko ng pera. At saka ano yung account number nung taong papadala ko ng pera. Lahat ng detalye na yan, para hindi mo na mabigay, para hindi na kailangan ma-encode, hindi na kailangan isulat, nandun lahat sa QR yan. Kaya yun lang ang kinascan at saka i-transmit na kaagad. Yeah. Just to give you an idea, itong QR is being launched in phases. Nauna ho dun sa mga P2P transfers, meaning dito sa mga pag nag-transfer ako ng pera to somebody else, to another person, nagagamit na ho yan. Na-launch yan noong November 2019. May mga institusyon na gumagamit na yan at dumadami pa hanggang na yun. Pagdating naman dun sa P2M, meaning pagbabayad dun sa merchant, inaayos namin yung framework dapat yan na-launch na yan by October 2020 or within the early part of 2020, fourth quarter of 2020. Nga pala, may hindi lang ako nabanggit kanina pagdating natin dito sa payments, 'di ba? Dito sa InstaPay at PesoNet. Because ano yan in effect nagta-transfer ka ng payment. Nag-execute ka nung sending ng payment. Yung InstaPay at PesoNet may katumbas ho na sending fee yan. Ang nagbabari yan per institution. It's a minimal cost to transfer a fee. But may mga iba-ibang institution na hindi ho nagcha-charge ng transfer fee. Dito ho sa ating ginagawang PesoNet at InstaPay, ang nagbabayad ho ng fee niyan para mag-send yung sender. Para yung beneficiary, yung binabayaran, buo ang natatanggap yung pera, walang kantas. Yeah. Ganun ho yung patakaran dyan sa PesoNet at InstaPay. And mabuti nga ho na yun, under ECQ, lahat ho nung mga institusyon na tumatanggap o yung mga financial institutions, mga partners natin na nagro-roll out itong PesoNet at InstaPay, tinigil ho yung kanilang mga fees para libre lahat ng mga pag-transfer ng payment. Doon may mga ibang institusyon, dati pa, libre na. Yeah. Sana ituloy nila yan para maginhawa lahat. Yeah. I just want to stress on one thing, diba? Because when we, nga pala, ito pa pala yung mga iba-ibang programa na ginagawa dun sa InstaPay at PesoNet na pwede niyong gawin online. Ito na rin pagbabayad ng taxes niyo, pwede na rin online, ginagamit ang PesoNet. DTI rin, pwede na rin. May naka-online na rin yan sa PesoNet. At saka ibang mga government institutions na para pag nagbayad, hindi na kayo kailangan magpila pa for mga registration fees, licenses, for these government instrumentalities. Dumadami pa ho yung listahan na yan. Mas kaka-launch pa lang yan noong November 2019. For now, I think there are close to 60 government institutions, including local government units, kaya dumadami pa rin yan. Ito namang isa, ang tawag ho namin yung direct debit, yan ho ay another framework na inaayos yung sistema nung paano gagawin yan. Ito hong direct debit, normally applicable yan dun sa mga payments na regular. Let's say for insurance, babayad ako ng insurance, may premium ako na every time pare-pareho ang presyo para hindi ko na abalahan every time na kailangan kong every month or every quarter, every semester magbayad, i-authorize ko na lang yung account ng insurance company ko para humugot ng pera doon sa account ko. Following a schedule and following electronic means. Yung framework na yan, inaayos natin para by the first half or early 2021, in place na yan na pwede nang gamitin sa PesoNet or InstaPay. Alam nyo, I hope you don't mind, na-excite ako pag pinag-uusapan ko to, kaya medyo yung boses ko nawawala. Kaya kung medyo nawawala, please bear with me. You know? Just a few slides on, because when we talk about electronic and digital transfers, kailangan maingat rin tayo. Diba? Kasi may kasabihan nga, ito, tawag namin protect your jewels. Kasi diba, as it is right now, kahit hindi naman digital, kahit na electronic, kahit hindi electronic, pag may mga, let's say, tumitimbre sa bahay, may telepono, may tumatawag sa telepono, gusto natin malaman, sino ba itong tao tumatawag sa akin? Sino ba itong tumitimbre sa aking, pinto? Sisilip ako na yun kung kilala ko ba itong tao na to? O hindi ko ba kilala? Ano kayang kailangan itong tao na to? Kaya pag may mga nagtatanong ng mga impormasyon ng hindi naman dapat tinatanong, magtataka ka rin. Ganun rin yan pagdating sa digital at saka sa electronic transfer. Kailangan sinusuri rin natin. Kailangan maiingat rin yung mga tao pag nagta-transfer. Lalo na pag gumagawa kayo ng mga access rights, ng mga passwords nyo, dapat yung mga password na ginagawa, dapat hindi sineshare yan dun sa iba. Dapat pinapalitan yan every so often Dapat hindi naman a password na birthday ko na ang daming may alam, or birthday mo na maraming may alam, anniversary mo na may maraming alam. Kailangan may mga permutations ka rin. At saka kailangan natin alalanin that yung mga supervised institutions, itong mga bangko that have these facilities, at saka yung mga electronic provider that have these electronic facilities, never will they call you to ask for your access rights nor your password. Hindi nila gagawin yan. Because that is private to you. Diba? Pag ginawa yan, medyo mag-suspect na ang tao. Diba? Kailangan na one way or the other to already communicate with your financial institution. Bakit? To confirm kung sila ba talaga ang tumatawag, sila ba ang humihingi nitong mga security rights ko at access rights. Yun ang sinasabi nating protect your jewels. Kasi yun yung identity mo eh. Yung identity mo, kailangan yung security right mo, hindi mo sinashare with anyone. Yung proprietary sa iyo yun. Kaya kailangan rin when we do our online transactions, maingat rin tayo. At saka kasama rin dito sa online transactions, kailangan yung mga consumers natin protektado. Yung mga kliyente ng mga bangko protektado. Kaya mayroon rin tayo mga consumer assistance desks sa BSP na pwedeng pagtawagan in case may mga concern. But normally, dapat ang nagpo-frontline yan, kung may unang concern for a transaction, tawagan niyo yung bangko niyo. Tawagan niyo yung bangko niyo at saka i-raise yung concern. At pwede na rin kung let's say hindi sumasagot yung bangko, doon kayo mag-report rin sa amin. Because pag nag-report kayo sa amin, dito through our consumer affairs, tatanungin rin namin yung mga institusyon, yung bangko, yung EMI, o ano nangyari dito? Bakit ganyan yan? Nasagot na ba to? Nasagot na ba yan? Ano na bang resolution na ginawa? Kasi kailangan protektado yung mga consumers natin eh. Tsaka yung mga businesses na gumagamit nitong mga digital means of transacting. Ito lang, yung doon sa kanan nakikita niyo ba yung BSP chatbot na yan? Yan ang tawag namin si Bob. Il-launch yan sa June. Tapos gagamit na rin kami ng artificial intelligence to be able to accept all these kinds of consumer concerns para mapabilis yung pagka-profile ng mga complaints. At mabilis rin, kung may complaint man, may i-refer doon sa bangko at saka papasok na rin yan sa aming statistics para rin nalalaman, ano bang mga klaseng mga concern ang medyo lumalawak na yun. At pag lumawak na yun, anong mga policy changes na kailangan namin gawin para lang to make sure na protektado ang ating mga customers at mga consumers, saka yung mga businesses na gumagamit itong ating mga digital platform. And lastly, itong ginagawa natin na yun. Itong programa ng DTI, malaking tulong ito in increasing digital literacy, in increasing the awareness. Kailangan rin natin masagot kung may mga tanong man about on how we're using these digital platforms. Kasi nandiyan na eh. Nandiyan na yung mga produkto, nandiyan na yung mga serbisyo na ginagawa ng ating financial mga supervised entities. So pwede nang gamitin. So the more programs that we have like this, the better. You know, it increases awareness of everyone. And maybe, lastly, I just want to emphasize, alam nyo, when we talk about digital finance, digital banking, or the delivery of financial services in digital and electronic means, lahat yan is sinusuri ng BSP. Because these institutions na gumagawa ng ganyan mga serbisyo fall under the supervision of the BSP. Kaya ang bangko niyan at saka ang financial institution na nag-o-offer ng mga electronic money products or any kind of delivery of financial services that entail a deposit account, mag-a-apply ho sa amin yan. Susuriin ho namin na mahusay yan. Alamin namin kung may tama ba silang infrastructure to be able to service yung mga kliyente nila. Mayroon bang mga security measures na in place para to ensure yung stability at yung safety ng transaction? Mayroon bang mga customer redress mechanism present to make sure that kung may mga concern, yung mga customers na-address kaagad. Yung mga yan, linilisensya. Kaya to make sure and to find out whether or not you are dealing with an institution that is licensed, nasa website ho namin yan. Doon nyo ma-check kung talagang legit ba itong operations nung institution that you're dealing with. At saka kung kaya ng institution that you're dealing with, ibigay yung serbisyo na pinapromise nila. Dahil lisensyado ho yan, linilisensya namin, at sinusuri ho namin, ini-examine ho namin yan. Now, kung hindi lisensyado o hindi rehistro, ay ibang usapan ho yun. Do not deal with them. I was talking a lot and I'm going on and on. I just want to finish with a quote that I just gave earlier. At this point in time, to remain relevant and to stay important in your business and to be able to last, you have to transform. Digital, I keep on saying, has to be in your DNA. Diba? You have to nail it, adapt to it, embark on it. Yun ho, yung NAE nasa puso ko yan. Ano yan eh? Yan ho yung mantra namin. To go digital at this point in time. And there's no other time to go digital but now. Marami na akong pinagsasabi. Marami na akong naubos na rin yung boses ko. Kaya siguro I will stop here and allow my other co-panelists to react or further confirm what I have been saying. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Very interesting po dahil ang dami-dami, no? I think even yung ating mga guests ngayon coming from the different online payment platform are also interested to ask question. Ang dami pong gustong magtanong sa ating audience ngayon, pero ito po, may mga ilan dito, no? Nabanggit po ninyo kanina kasi dati 1% lang yung gumagamit ng digital, tapos 8% yung sa kumbaga computation niya, then it increased to 10%. But if we look at 10%, medyo mababa pa rin yun in terms of the number of people making use
Yes.
of digital as their when they pay and all that. Siguro unang tanong po natin, sir, how do we increase po and how do we encourage people to use? May mga nabanggit na rin kayo kanina, pero siguro kung ako ay isang consumer, kung ako ay isang MSME, paano po natin ma-encourage pa yung ating mga kababayan na gamitin na po yung platform na ito po, sir?
Actually, I think maganda yun. Thank you for bringing that up. Yung 10%, yung growth ng 1% to 10% in terms of volume, that gives enough momentum eh. But take note, 2018 pa ho yung yung cut-off. Marami nang nangyari after 2018. Mas marami pang digital transactions since then. Yung target nga ho namin is by the end of 2020, dapat umakyat yan at the very least 20%. And by 2023, tinatrack namin yan dapat by 50% na. But ang nakakatulong dyan, because nandyan yung mga plataforma, is more of awareness. Awareness that there are these platforms. Kaya kailangan natin more of these kinds of literacy programs para lang ma-market rin and to make it to greater awareness that these platforms are available. Lalo sa ating mga small businesses, baka hindi nila alam that if they have a bank account or a electronic money account na pwede na pagtagkapan, pwede nang gawan niya ng electronic transfer, meaning they can actually use InstaPay or PesoNet as an option for payment.
Yes po. Tama yung sinasabi niyo, no? Kailangan lang talaga natin ng marami pang awareness about this. And I think nga, importante dito, meron talagang bank account yung ating MSME o isang consumer if they want to be a part of this. So, lahat po ba?
Actually, kaklarify ko lang ho, hindi
Yes,
lang bank account. Pwede rin electronic money account.
Yes. Okay, electronic money.
Electronic money account, other than banks, you have the likes of mga panelists natin na yun that we also supervise. And are able to also facilitate the same kind of digital transfer of funds.
Okay po. Ayun, may tanong dito, talking about regulation na, what are the Philippines laws or regulations in line with the online payment or the digital platforms?
Actually, we have the NRPS, nasa regulasyon ho namin yan. na in terms of being able to provide digital services. Right now kasi to be able to provide digital services, kailangan lisensyado ka. Lisensyado ka as a banking institution or an electronic money institution. Now, pag mayroon na siyang lisensya na yun, mag-a-apply na lang siya ng electronic delivery of financial services. Yun ho yung ibang authority. Nasa law ho ng Central Banking Act yan.
Okay po. Ang ganda, no? Sabi ko nga kanina, pati yung po ang ating mga panelists ngayon, I think after your presentation, marami rin silang gustong itanong or reaction. Siguro, we'd like to hear now from our panelists how you react in the presentation of the Managing Director of Central Bank. From Union Bank, JP, any thoughts?
Hi, thank you, Nelly. Actually, very, very timely yung presentation ni Direct V3, ni MDV3. Kasi he's really promoting particularly NRPS as a very key initiator, enabler para sa e-commerce, sa e-payments na ginagawa natin ngayon. Tama po yung sinabi ni Sir V3 na wala na pong boundaries ngayon. Kahit anong bangko ka pa manggaling, kahit saang bangko pa papunta yan. Kahit cash card yan or PayMaya or GCash, lahat yan enabled dun sa pagpasahan ng pera, which is really, really important. Lalo na, I think napakalaki ng jump talaga yan, lalo na ngayong panahon ng pandemic. Lahat tayo naka-lockdown, walang makalabas, hindi naman lahat ng branches bukas. So napakalaki na spike sa paggamit ng mga tao ngayon. And nandito kami with all the banks doing their best, all the platforms like PayMaya, GCash, Grabpay doing their best to provide simpler ways para maka-onboard po kayo, yung mga SMEs natin, yung mga general public, the Filipinos, mapadala yung paraan para maka-onboard kayo sa amin at magamit nyo kagad yung mga facilities na spearhead ng BSP sa ganitong panahon.
Okay, thank you very much. From GCash, Mr. Justin Yap, do you have any reaction or your thoughts na lang doon po sa presentation ng ni Sir? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Miss Nelly. So napakaganda ng presentation ni Sir V3. The really important word for me was interoperability because it leads to further inclusion ng mga kababayan natin at access. It doesn't just stop in giving them access to a mobile wallet or a bank account, no? Giving them access to mga accounts din ng mga, well, in terms of sending and payments doon sa ibang mga kasamahan din nila na ibang platform yung inavail. So we are truly on the road to including everybody into that digital financing system. So yun yung very promising about the presentation of Sir V3, no?
Yes,
So yun yung
interoperability. Thank you very much, Justin. GrabPay, Johnny Bates, any reaction or any thoughts on the presentation of our friend from Central Bank, please?
Yes, hi. Yeah, I mean, it's a very timely presentation as always and more relevant now than ever, especially with the focus on convenience and overall safety, especially during this pandemic. And we here at Grab, we're very thankful with how progressive and forward-thinking the BSP has been, especially with the introduction of the National Retail Payment System. And I mean, also for holding this sort of webinar to really champion online payments and especially on enabling small and medium-sized sellers. On our end, we are also close to integrating with InstaPay as well and eventually Pessonet. So we're really looking forward to introducing that.
Okay, so not only the banks, but even these online payment platforms are already making use of what was mentioned, a lot of what was mentioned by our friend from Central Bank early on. He also mentioned about the QR code that Central Bank is into. Nandito po yung head ng business for QR ecosystems ng PayMaya. Maybe you'd like to react on that part of the presentation of Managing Director De Villa. Raymond?
So una, papasalamat ako actually yung leadership ng BSP pati ng DTI for these types of webinars. Kasi napaka-progressive. Actually 5 years ago, galing din akong US. Nakita ko kung gaano ka-importante ang shift in digital kasi napakabilis. Ngayon, papunta from texting ngayon, Viber saka Facebook Messenger na. Diyan din ang nakikita namin naman sa payments. Kung dati cash ang bayaran, papuntang digital payments 'yan. Hindi natin maihinto yung pagpasok niyan. Actually, nung nangyari yung sakuna sa atin ngayon, kita mo na pabilis talaga. And one of the things na talagang, I guess, yung pinaka-safe ngayon na payments na face-to-face, nakikita namin na ang QR payments is one of them. Kasi may distansya talaga eh. Pag nakita mo yung kausap mo at nagbabayad ka ng, I guess, anything from a store, may distansya kayo at napaka-safe niyan. So dati ang sinasabi namin, secure yan kasi talagang yung bayaran nyo, walang kupit, walang ganon. Pero ngayon, even yung sheer distance ngayon, napaka-importante. So sa amin naman, sa Paymaya, we are definitely in support of the QRPH. Actually, we're one of the earliest adopters of it. So makikita nyo, pag kumuha kayo ng merchant QR galing sa Paymaya Negosyo, that will be enabled QRPH in the future as well. So we're very supportive of ng ginagawa ng BSP.
Mhm. Okay, thank you very much. Ang ganda nga ang sinabi ng BSP kanina, pati kami dito ang daming natutunan, talking about yung increase in the number of usage of digital payment in the Philippines, digital finance, then yung mobile banking, pwede na rin pala. Straight from your homes, you can open, you can deposit, you can transfer. I think that's some of the problems kahit kami nga dito sa PTTC, I think a lot of our MSMEs o yung ating mga gustong magbayad sa kanilang mga buyers kaya or sellers in terms of check, yung sigurong kailangan pa nating matutunan how we can maximize the use of mobile banking. And he also mentioned about national retail payment system. Ang dami nating nakuha, PesoNet and InstaPay and the QR code, and of course yung protecting. In the series 1 of the Control Biz Reboot Now, isa sa mga tinatanong talaga doon yung security, but our friend from Central Bank was mentioning about chatbot. Alam ko naman marami tayong na-pick up doon. Kaya lang mayroong isa tayong gustong itanong dito kanina. Yung binabanggit po kanina ni Director De Villa, something about KYC. Ano nga po ba yung KYC? To think na digital na po tayo ngayon. Sir De Villa?
Okay. Well, ang KYC, it stands for Know Your Customer. Yung basic requirement yan pag nagbubukas ng account, may mga information about the account holder na kailangan i-disclose sa banko para to identify that as part ng profile ng account. Ngayon at digital na, ang tawag na natin sa kanya ay eKYC, Electronic KYC.
KYC, okay.
Particularly, that applies for mga institutions that can do yung onboarding fully digital, meaning hindi mo na kailangan pumunta sa bangko, hindi mo na kailangan or sa any supervised institution para mag-fill up ng form, para ilagay yung pangalan, magbigay ng ID, ilagay lahat ng mga address na kailangan. Hindi mo na kailangan pumunta sa bangko para gawin yun. That can all be done virtually through your mobile phone. And there are banks and there are EMIs that are actually doing that already. Kaya napapabilis yung onboarding. Nga pala, let me just share some statistics with you. Hindi ko lang napakita kanina. From the time nag-ECQ, no March 17, till end of April, there were 4.2 million new accounts that were actually created, onboarded, fully digital, end-to-end. Meaning, gamit ko lang itong telepono ko. Nagagawa na yun yan ng mga ilang institusyon.
Okay. So,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
yes po. So, yung sinasabi nyo kanina natin na target natin na by 2020 or 2023, talagang we are really seeing that we will be able to achieve that, na talagang dadami yun. Yung nga sana gusto ko idugtong kanina, sir, kasi nga talagang nagiging relevant and nagiging imperative sa ating mga consumers and even MSMEs to really go digital dahil nga sa nangyari ngayon. So talagang yung from 1% to 10% to 20% and higher, kaya po nating abutin. Yes po.
Yes. Yan talaga tinutulak ng ating governor na yun. Si Governor Ben Jocno, mabigat talaga siya dyan pagdating sa digital. Minomonitor niya ng husto.
Okay. Thank you po. Gusto ko lang tanong yung ating pong mga partners po dito na galing sa online payment. Halimbawa ako ay isang MSME. May binibenta ako. Kasi ganito nangyayari. Pag isa kang MSME and you want to be a part of an online selling platform, more often than not, ang nangyayari is kasama na doon sa iyo offer nila kung kaninong online payment platform ang gagamitin. Pero pag halimbawa pag ako gusto ko magbenta, meron akong website, doon ko i-promote yung ating produkto. Paano po sila magsisimula para po makuha nila or they can, make use of the services that you're offering? May we start from Paymaya? Raymond?
So thank you, Ma'am Nelly. Yung sa amin kasi, yung belief system ni Paymaya, pag merchant kayo kaya micro SME, lahat ng payment systems na kaya nyong tumanggap ng payments, pinoprovide namin sa inyo. Nandyan ang Visa, Mastercard, BankNet, QRPH, Paymaya, e-wallets, e-wallet. So kung paano magsimula, nakikita nyo ngayon, sumasagot yung team namin, we actually launched yung bagong produkto namin. Ito yung Paymaya Negosyo. Naisip namin kasi na talagang ang kailangan ng mga negosyante ay iba sa mga consumers naman. Kasi dun sa Paymaya Negosyo app namin, dyan dadagdag lahat ng mga programa namin para sa micro SMEs at dyan din pupunta lahat ng mga tools na kailangan ng mga negosyante para lumago ang business nila. So yung sa amin lang, pinadali na namin yung pagkuha ng merchant account or ibig sabihin nito, iba yung Paymaya consumer account sa merchant account. So yung sa amin, download lang kayo ng Paymaya Negosyo account. Pag download nyo doon, create kayo ng account. Nasabi nga ni ni Direct V3 kanina, meron din ho yan electronic KYC to really validate po ang identity nyo. At dyan po lalabas na yung QR nyo. Doon pa lang nakaka-accept na kayo ng cashless payment sa simula. Tapos doon din namin ilalagay lahat ng mga programa namin para sa micro SME. Doon din lalabas sa mga training sessions namin. Doon din lalabas sa mga, mga konting mga pangpalago ng business nyo, mga bagong tools. Tapos doon nyo na rin makikita at ang simula ng journey namin, sisimplihan ko na lang muna para hindi complicated. Download nyo muna yung Paymaya Negosyo app, create kayo ng account at doon po ang magsisimula ang journey nyo to be able to accept all the forms of payments naman that Paymaya can offer. Tapos po nun, nandyan na rin, lilitaw na rin yung mga Visa, Mastercard, BankNet at iba pa.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how about yung sa process naman ng GCash? Justin?
Yes, Miss Nelly. Yung sa GCash naman po na process ay meron kaming email kung saan pwede mag-reach out yung mga nagnegosyante natin or mga nagpaplanong magnegosyo. And then yung next step doon, once they have sent their inquiry, may magre-reach out sa kanila na ating mga account managers to further scope kung ano yung bagay sa kanila na produkto, whether it's a webpay product, a device, or yung simpleng QR lang namin. So sa amin, part ng process is pag-scope kung ano talaga yung plano ng ating negosyante sa kanyang customer experience. No? So once na-determine po natin, ay bubuksan natin siya ng merchant account na angkop doon sa customer experience na gusto niyang sundin para ma-master niya na mas madali kasi naka semi-customized na sa kanyang process yung produkto or na-pair natin na maayos.
Mm-hmm. So ibig sabihin talaga tinatanong natin Paymaya and GCash, yun, kailangan lang nilang kontakin talaga kayo and then they will actually find it out, everything that they need to know about yung process, nandoon na siya. Pero paano naman po, siguro this time, question natin po ito for Union Bank and from GrabPay. What if may napili na akong online, I have already chosen an online selling platform but I prefer your online payment platform to be my partner. Pwede ba yun?
Do I go first?
Yes, Justin.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Si JP po.
JP, yes, JP.
Apo. So may napili na po siyang platform kung saan siya magbebenta and gusto po niya gamitin yung amin as the payment gateway.
Yes.
Apo, pwede naman po. We always believe na ang choice po talaga nandun pa din sa business owner. So either gusto niya po kami gamitin as the payment platform or gusto po niya si PayMaya, whoever, sinisigurado po namin na lagi kami makakapag-connect kung ano man pong website yung gamit nyo, kung ano man pong payment platform yung gagamitin nyo.
So walang exclusivity. So depende kung ano yung gusto nila, you can always make arrangements. Yes, the
Opo,
same
wala
question.
po.
Oh, yes, thank you. The same question also goes to Johnny Bates. What if I have already chosen my online selling platform, but I wanted to make use of GrabPay as my payment gateway? Will you be able to adjust?
Yes, definitely we can. We have our own online payment method, which is fairly easy to integrate. We are already live on some examples such as Zalora, Shop SM, Beauty Manila, and at least a couple hundred other smaller e-commerce websites. And I mean, in order for us to enable that, you can just reach us at merchantsupport.ph@grab.com, and we're placing this email throughout the comments in the questions. In addition, though, if our online payment acceptance is not enabled on your website, our Grab customers can use their virtual GrabPay MasterCard, which we've just released actually this week. And with that, they can shop on millions of online sellers online.
Mhm. Okay, that's interesting. Eto pa, no, marami sa ating mga kababayan, they just promote and sell their products making use of Facebook, for example. Siguro, and they're looking for possible payment gateway that can help them. Sino may program na ganito sa ating mga panelists ngayon? Maybe we can ask JP?
Yes.
Yes.
So so for Union Bank po, we have a technology company, a subsidiary of ours called UBX, and nakapag-develop po kami ng mobile ng app called Bux, BUX. So you can try to check it out online. It's bux.ph na pwede nyo pong gamitin as a payment gateway also para sa mga iba-ibang bagay like Facebook selling, Viber selling. So nakaka-generate na link that you can use for those channels. I think similarly po our friends in PayMaya and GrabPay and GCash also.
Mhm. Okay, sige. So I won't ask them anymore. Pare-pareho yung proseso, ano. Eto, pinag-uusapan na lang din natin po yung security dahil kailangan nga before you can pay. Ayun, we are talking about tawag dito yung ATM kaya or credit card or yung debit card and some information that you need to provide, ano. Eto, sabi nga dito, this is for our partner from Central Bank, Servitri. Sabi, digital safety and security ang dapat ma-improve para iwas hack or identity finance theft. Okay, galing yung question kay Miss B. Hicks. And relatedly, may sinasabi rin dito from Jose Pallones. Ang tanong niya po, how secure is the online payment to the hackers? Related pa rin po, isahin ko na lang din kasi this is still on security. Ano? How secure is our money in using this online banking? What security measures are being done to be secured in our transaction? Sir Vitri, please.
Siguro sagutin ko ng ganito ho yan. As I mentioned earlier, to be able to have electronic bank or to be able to transact electronically, to be able to give that financial institution the license and authority to do digital financial services, mayroong mga requirements ho yan. One of the main requirements is the infrastructure, the security that they have to protect customers, clients, and their infrastructure. Lahat ho yan sinusuri. That's why if for those that apply but there are areas by which we have concerns on, particularly on their information security framework and infrastructure, then hindi ho namin linilisensya yan. Hindi namin binibigyan ng authority yan until such time that they are able to address our findings. If I may, I think the other portion was in relation to how do we ensure safety from hackers?
Yes.
I think what I mentioned earlier will also address that. But I think let me just siguro inform everyone that that we have a rule, we have a regulation that requires immediate reporting of any kind of incident that may have to result to some kind of disruption in service. When these disruptions take place as a result, if ever, of any kind of malicious activity, we have to be informed. There's a rule of that. We have to be informed immediately. And resolution in terms of quick response time, in terms of what the bank is doing, would have to be done within a quick turnaround. That reporting, we call it an EDRN reporting. Well, some kind of quick incident reporting. Within 2 hours of that incident, kailangan alam na namin. Tapos within 24 hours, dapat may clear action na sila na ginagawa to resolve it. Because normally, ang nangyayari, when we receive these kinds of reports coming from our supervised entities that there were some kind of potential risks or disruptions, perhaps arising from some mga hacker, we have to say, we also communicate it out in an anonymized confidential advisory to the other members of the community. Para from their end, they can already safeguard and do what's necessary in the event that they may possibly be hit by the same kind of attack. So there's that information sharing that's happening within the community para lang mapapaghandaan for more of a proactive action. I think there was also another question earlier about penalties in terms of legal remedies against these, let's say, hackers or scammers. It's sad to say we don't live in an ideal world. May talagang malaswang mga tao nandyan na dapat sa mga ganyan hinuhuli at saka kinukulong at pinapatayan. Yan ang nangyari sa atin dito during the COVID crisis because of maraming mga scammers na lumalabas with fake mails and acting as if they are asking for donations, and may mga ibang medyo that fell into these kinds of activities na nabawasan ng kanilang mga funds. Ano yan? There's coordination within the banking community, with DOJ and even NBI that resulted to the arrest of these individuals. Kaya kailangan, ang maganda, pag let's say may mga threat doon sa account nyo and you see some suspicious transactions that perhaps are not done by any authorized individual from that institution, i-report nyo kaagad sa institution. Because may escalation na nangyayari dyan . Kasi kung hindi naman rin i-report yan, hindi malalaman ng mga regulator, hindi malalaman ng mga enforcement agency para mahuli itong mga scalawags na yan.
Okay, yun. Importante nga, yun sa mga gumagamit talaga nito, kung kayo na biktima. Kaya nakikita po natin dito, mayroon tayong ilan nga sa mga nagtatanong ngayon because they've been a victim. Importante po, report the information, okay? Para po sila rin maaral nila and they can already start investigating or studying your issue. Okay, may ang sabi nga dito kanina, wait lang, iakit natin siya. Related pa rin ito, although we just wanted to share this. From Michelle Reynoso, sabi niya, now rampant ang mga scammers or hackers using online at digital banking. Sabi niya, sharing lang to. I personally was a victim of this. That's why I'm worried about online banking payments. How po ito ina-address regarding enhancement on our online banking laws in the Philippines? I think masyadong lax daw po ang penalties sa mga scammers and hackers. Are there any improvements sa penalty daw po?
Actually, I just mentioned it earlier, no? When the Bayanihan Law was put in place, particularly during this time of pandemic, and there are those scammers that are capitalizing on the pandemic, there are strict penal provisions there that would actually provide these kinds of sanctions and penalties. Kaya rin napabilis itong sinabi ko kanina, itong mga scammers na recently nahuli at dinampot ng NBI. I think it's other than that, it's actually also reporting it to the bank and for the banks themselves, because ito rin ang part ng consumer protection . Ang sinasabi namin sa mga institutions like yung banks or yung mga EMIs that maliwanag dapat yung handling rin nila ng kanilang mga kliyente. Yeah. At saka yung mga help desk nila na tumatanggap nitong mga tawag na to. At hindi nagpapasapasahan. Minsan may mga impression ho ng ganun. Kaya kailangan there's also quick resolution. Yun ho rin ang naayos namin sa industriya para yung mga, let's say, kasi pag may nangyaring incident na ganyan, ang kadalasan may dalawang institusyon na involved, may counterparties. Kailangan mapagharap at saka makapag-usap kaagad anong magandang gawin.
Okay, kaya importante po 'yon doon sa ating mga MSMEs and even the mga consumers po natin na gumagamit ng online payment gateways. Isa rin siguro sa mga considerations, and I think tinitingnan rin talaga ito ng ating mga gateways na they are satisfying yung consumers natin or the users, yung client satisfaction na sinasabi or user satisfaction and customer service. Yung paano nyo i-respond, paano kayo mag-response doon sa mga if ever there are complaints that are filed related to how they use yung ininyo pong platform. Tanong ko lang po, kasi I'm also coming of course from the government and from the DTI, we're also collecting parang mga payments from our clients, but right now hindi pa po kami online. So sa government, for government agencies like us, this goes to all our panelists, anong payment platform ang pwede po sa kanila? Dapat online din ba ang government, or mayroon ba kayong mga naging kliyente na nag-online payment na rin po? Maybe hear from yes, Raymond.
Ako ma'am, napakagandang tanong. Actually, we're powering, especially ngayon, si DTI. Sila ang actually pinakaunang, I guess, government agency na talagang digital payments right away. And I think yun yung leadership talaga ng DTI towards that. But for us kasi, talagang yung push lagi ni Paymaya, lahat dapat ng payments or types of payments dapat ina-accept nyo. Kasi sa totoo lang, ngayon, yung customers, ang daming methods of payments at kailangan mong makuha yung customer. Lalo na kung yung customer gumagamit ng Paymaya wallet, sana maka-accept ka rin ng Paymaya. And I think, the government leading the charge of being able to accept all forms of payments is just the best representation. Napaka-progressive po ng gobyerno natin because they're opening everything up.
Thank you, Raymond. It's good to hear yung DTI nga is walking the talk. Sinasabi natin because we're already talking about e-commerce and online payment. Parang hindi naman magandang makita na tayo mismo hindi natin siya ina-advocate or pinapatronize. How about Johnny Bates? The same question. Do you have programs, or maybe do you already have government agencies that are already making use of your gateway?
Yes, currently in our app, you can pay for SSS contributions, MMDA fees, and I believe we also have Pag-ibig and a couple others. We are working hard to bring them all on board, though.
Good. Okay, it's good to know that we have
Nelly,
Yes
pwede ko
po.
bang dadagdagan ko lang, di ba?
Okay
Mas maganda na natanong mo yan kasi in relation to one of the slides that I showed, yung kanina about the eGov Pay, eGov link-based pay portal. Because most of the government agencies or instrumentalities, they have to bank with a government bank. So either DBP yan or nasa land bank. Kaya nga gumawa tayo ng eGov Pay or eGov link-based pay portal para all those government instrumentalities and agencies pwede na mag-enroll doon sa portal na yun. Para all payments that have to be made to them can be facilitated through that portal. Tsaka yung portal na yan, gumagamit ng PesoNet. So sort of saying, yung portal nung sa eGov Link-based Pay, kukonect sa PesoNet, pag nakakonect na sa PesoNet yan, ang dami nang pwede magbayad ng mga iba-ibang bangko na nakakonect sa PesoNet. I think na-mention nga, isa nga kayo sa una other than BIR na nakakonect dyan sa link-based, eGov link-based. Nabanggit ko rin kanina, mayroong mga there are 56 institutions right now. Dumadami pa yan. Ang gusto rin namin makita sana yung sa susunod, yung mga those government instrumentalities na maraming front-facing clientele particularly when you talk about registration, licensing, appointments, let's
Yes.
say, or passports, yung
Okay.
mga licenses. That's all in motion.
Okay. Palagay ko interested rin ating mga viewers ngayon to find out kung meron rin bang clients si GCash and Union Bank, government agencies. Maganda rin mapakinggan natin. Justin?
Yes, Miss Nelly. So, aside from the mentioned DTI, no, matagal na nating partner, we also have yung mga PSA, even BIR, and some local governments na tumatanggap ng GCash in multiple forms. So, diba sa PSA, nasa payment gateway nila, no, doon sa website, pag umorder tayo ng copies ng birth certificate natin, marriage certificate, at ibang legal documents. Even kung walang app, meron din tayong star 137, no, or yung star 143 number sign na pwedeng i-access ng mga kabayan may GCash account pero walang smartphone. So sa app naman, marami din tayong billers na government, may government category talaga doon, i-explore nila.
Okay, tinanong na lang din natin sila lahat. Tapusin na lang din natin kay JP. JP, anong mga agencies if you're covering any government agency that's already making use of your gateway? Yes?
Yes, so we cover also po mga government, especially para sa mga businesses and mga corporates. So we allow Social Security, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, BIR, Customs, SEC, and other agencies also whose direct link is more for the businesses.
Okay. Sige po, fast talk po tayo para po meron tayong isang tanong, bilis lang po nating sagutin ito, no? Okay. Ayan po. For all panels, can you share, this is from Pat Puente. Can you share how much ang fees or ilang percent ang kailangan naming bayaran? Kasi I heard GCash is charging a certain percentage of service fee. Para makipakinggan natin, makompare siguro nila from all of you. We'll start from JP, please.
So service fees in terms of as a payment gateway po, no?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so meron po kapag payment gateway po kasi kapag tumatanggap ka, let's say, ng credit card payments, para sa amin po if you become a merchant of Union Bank, normally po may mga merchant discount rate na tinatawag which will roughly be from around 2.75 to around 3.5%. Depende po yan kung anong industriya kayo, kung anong produkto po yung binibenta nyo.
Okay.
And of course, some transaction fees. And for top-ups naman po, or yung mga tinatawag namin mga partner channels, over-the-counter channels, normally po yan nagre-range from 10 pesos to 20 pesos na transaction fee.
Okay, please take note of that, no, yung mga nagtatanong. From GCash, about from GCash, how much ang fees or ilang percent na bang kailangan bayaran ng ating MSMEs? Justin?
So yung sa regular rates po natin, Ms. Nelly, nasa 2% po. Pero depende din sa industry. Same with the Sir JP na sinasabi. So although in percentage-wise, nasa 2% yung regular, and then pinag-uusapan din per industry kung may bababa.
Okay. Yes, GrabPay, please. Johnny Bates.
Na mabibi.
Yes, very similar answer. It really depends on the category of the merchant, and fees typically in the market can range from 1% to 3%. So
Okay.
for us, we try to cater it, depending on what the volume that the merchant has, and also what category they belong in, and then of course depends, how. Whatever we offer needs to be consistent and at least competitive with what the market's offering too. So it's really quite bespoke depending on the merchant.
Okay, so we're just giving each one a chance to answer. This time from Paymaya, Raymond Villanueva.
Yeah, ma'am, sa amin naman, yung rates namin ngayon for micro SME dahil nag-COVID po tayo, we decided to do it at 1.5% for QR po. So, yan po ang makikita nyo sa Paymaya Negosyo. Pero yung sa Visa, MasterCard, BankNet at mga other electronic payments namin, yun po ay katulad nung sinabi ng iba, depende po sa category nyo, etc. Pero very competitive ho kasi yung Paymaya po, kami rin ho ang nagpo-process ng payment. So we actually have the most aggressive rates, or probably one of the most aggressive rates to process your payments. So yun po yung mapapromise namin sa inyo.
Raymond, ito may katanungan pa rin sa iyo, no? Sabi dito, from Johnny Benitez, I tried to find out how to use PayMaya for my website as a payment gateway, but your website has no information on technical requirements and costs. Why don't you publish daw on your website, Raymond?
Yeah, so Johnny, feel free to contact me personally. I can walk you through it. Actually, we have a developer's website where all the APIs are actually published. So maybe I'll have my team direct you to the right places. And definitely all the integrations sa mga platforms, mga e-commerce platforms, naka-post na doon. So that definitely is there. Will help you, will direct you towards the tech documents for it.
Okay, meron tayong body ngayon nandiyan sa ating back-end na sumasagot rin sa mga tanong. So maybe we can also give them your email address so they can get more information from you. For Union Bank this time, this is from FB Live Miavilo Liowac. Okay, sabi niya, can we open a company account to be able to receive payment online? That's for JP.
Yes, of course, you can. You can. For now, yung parang na-mention po ni Sir Vitri, the eKYC and the immediate account opening, it's available for personal accounts. But for business accounts, you can always get in touch with us, and one of our relationship managers will get in touch with you para po matulungan kayo ma-open yung business account. And yes, makakatanggap po yan ng payments.
Okay, good. Thank you. This time for Bangko Sentral, this is from Alvic Josol, galing po sa ating Zoom Q&A. If BankNet is using VocaLink platform, this is same platform used in Singapore and Thailand for fund transfer. Will there be a possibility that we can use our bank account in the Philippines to pay vendors when we will visit Singapore and Thailand without withdrawing cash and convert it to another currency? And talking about interoperability, this will be a big help to the Philippine users of NRPs too. Yes, sir.
Actually, maganda na tanong yan because there is an ASEAN body, as you know, the ASEAN member countries have a working committee called the Payment System Subcommittee, which talks about the interoperability of these kinds of transactions. Particularly, let's say, tama nga, let's say if we travel to Singapore and we want to purchase something, the trust is to be able to use QR. Pagkatapos yung madedebit, madededuct yung account ko dito sa Philippines in pesos, while yung merchant doon mababayaran in Singapore currency. There's a program that's being worked out and may timeline ho yan ginagawa. So that's also work in progress. But maganda na sabi yan to raise the awareness. The target is if not by 2021, early 2022, meron na tayong mga country na pwede nang gawin yun within ASEAN.
Good. Okay, that's very good news. Meron pa ditong tanong, sir, from Jose Pallones. This is also for Central Bank. Does this payment platform, or para sa lahat, I think, okay, or yes, does this payment platform, can it transact? Ano ba siya? Tanong niya. Does this payment platform can transact PayPal?
Excuse me. Actually, PayPal is like an e-commerce platform. From that e-commerce platform, there are different payment partners. And the payment partners can be any of these institutions that we're talking to right now. So,
okay. Sige po. Ezra Nicole Basto is asking, how about your maintaining balance? Are there any? May maintaining balance ba? Sa lahat siguro. Fast talk lang po. Unahin po natin from Union Bank. Maintaining balance?
Hi, so marami po kaming klaseng accounts. Meron kami accounts na walang maintaining balance, meron din po kaming meron. So depende po sa, let's say, kung gusto nyo po walang maintaining balance, meron po kami mga debit cards for that, savings accounts. And normally, pag checking account, meron na po yan as low as 5,000 and merong 25, may 50, may mga iba-ibang add-ons po siya na pwede nyo makuha depende po sa maintaining balance na pipiliin ninyo.
Okay, nagsha-shopping yata yung ating SME, ano? From GCash, Justin, the same question. Meron ba tayong maintaining balance?
For merchant accounts po, wala siyang need ng maintaining balance because we sweep to the banks. Dun sa personal accounts, wala rin. So, I think that covers most, question niya talaga.
Okay,
If
thank
I
you.
may, pwedeng dumagdag lang, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Maganda nga nasabi, iba-ibang produkto, mga ino-offer ng mga ating mga supervised institutions. Dinidifferentiate ko lang ang deposit account and electronic money account. Electronic money account, usually walang balance yan eh. It's more to be able to transfer funds sa mabilis. At ang deposit account, depende sa produkto na ino-offer ng bangko. Na mayroong mga maintaining balance, mayroong mga may wala. Kaya lang, gumawa rin kami ng framework, a framework where banks will be able to promote what we call a basic deposit account. May mga institutions, may mga bangko na nag-o-offer ng produkto na yun, na basic deposit account. It's primarily to be able to cater to those that do not, yung access to funds nila on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, that mahirap sila makamaintain ng a certain balance required by the banks. So itong basic deposit account na to, walang maintaining balance yan. Walang maintaining balance, walang dormancy fees. As long as I think it's within 50,000, no? 50,000 yung basic deposit account. Only if, let's say, maraming transactions that go beyond that balance of 50,000, only then will that account shift to a regular deposit account. Ito ho kasi, tinatawag namin basic deposit account para ma-facilitate yung pagkabukas ng mga bank accounts ng those who need to be financially included in the system. Those that ang source of funding nila is only on a weekly basis or if not even on a daily basis, that ang funds nila, whatever comes in, goes out quickly. But they're hindi sila napapasok doon sa financial system. At saka dahil hindi sila napapasok sa financial system, yung benefits that they can get from being part of the financial system, wala doon. Kaya maganda to include them also. That's why nakapasok ng programa ng basic deposit account. Yun
Okay.
po yung tawag namin no frills account.
Okay po, thank you po. Ayan po, may sumagot na. Nagpalabas kami kanina ng poll, poll question, what is the most important factor in considering an online payment platform? So far, ito po yung lumabas sa mga choices: security, reliability, acceptability, and cost-wise. Ilalabas po ulit namin ito. You can actually vote, Pwede kayong pumili from among the selections that we are showing you on screen. And then we will show you again the result mamaya before we end para makita natin kung ano ba yung feeling ng ating mga audience as far as, selection or choosing the right platform. So makikita rin siguro ito ng ating mga panelists dito later para makonsider nila na ito yung tinitingnan ng ating mga MSMEs and even consumers which they consider as very important. This time again for BSP, Bangko Sentral po. Again on security, important for our kababayans po, sabi ng Active Index Corporation. Are there BSPs available guidelines or frameworks in terms of cybersecurity standards or compliance requirements for businesses engaged in online payment? I-relate ko na rin po, sir. Ito pa, parehong question. Fintech is apparently one of the most vulnerable sectors when it comes to cybersecurity threat. And also, additional question po ito for Sir Vitri De Villa. Would like to ask with regards to security again, since it was discussed and you have explained clearly that there will be great penalty to those scammers and who tries to penetrate our platforms. Remember, Comelec, sorry to ask this, but I see that government made a well-funded system for election, including that system they used, yet still bug was found and got penetrated. What makes your platform more secured considering this hacking situation happened to government agencies before? Are your platform well-funded in terms of security? Sir Dimitri, please.
Well, ganito hong sagot ko dyan. Because the platform is platform being used by the financial institution. Yung sinusupervise namin, yung financial institution na binigyan ng lisensya to be able to do electronic banking. Now, to be able to be issued that kind of electronic banking license, meron silang infrastructure that would have to be in place where all these security measures ay yung sinusuri namin. We have circulars and regulations that would put in place what is the information security risk management framework dictate or required of an institution to be able to gain these kinds of licenses. That's the point that I was trying to make earlier. The NRPS platform is a framework, a framework that banks and electronic money issuers will be using to be able to transact with one another. So their platform, the platform of the institutions, would have to provide that kind of safety in terms of being able to address the requirements of their clients. Again, but to be a member of that platform, to be part of that framework, that those financial institutions would have to be licensed. And when they are licensed, they go through that rigorous scrutiny of their information security, risk management standards and framework. I just want to add about fintech, because the fintech space, the fintech players have really mushroomed, and that's good because they are actually our partners in moving forward digital means of transacting. But they either partner with supervised entities that fall under the BSP, particularly for those that are taking for financial institutions that provide payment services, that take deposits. But if they don't take deposits, these are not under the BSP. They fall under with our other regulatory body like SEC, because there are fintech players that just provide lending facilities. They don't take funds and they don't grant out loans. Those that take funds and grant out loans, take funds in the form of deposits, they have to be licensed as a banking institution. Now, if another institution such as an electronic money provider, electronic money issuer, adun rin sa sa BSP. But not all fintech players that provide that provide services are not all under the BSP. Kaya meron rin kami collaboration with the other agencies like SEC and Insurance Commission. Because there are also fintech players that cater to the companies that these insurance commission and the SEC also regulate.
So may kanya-kanyang coverage po yung mga different agencies in
Yes.
monitoring po yung e-payment gateways po natin. Sir.
Yes, when it comes to entities that fall under their jurisdiction.
Yes.
But maganda dyan, there's a collaborative oversight effort or initiative where the different agencies regularly meet, regularly talk, and discuss these mga overlap, let's say may mga issues, concerns, overlapping, let's say, policies that they need some consistency. Lahat yun, we talk about those things also. There's what we call a financial sector forum, where these four regulatory bodies are members. It's headed by the governor of the Bangko Sentral.
Okay,
And,
thank you very much po.
and the heads of the agencies of the other regulatory bodies.
Yeah, okay. For online platforms, this is for Paymaya, GrabPay, GCash, and Union Bank. A question is from Jennifer Baltazar. Sabi niya, we are Agatieng Travel and Tours Agency based in Baguio. Currently, we accept payments through Palawan Express and banks. However, we want immediate confirmation of payments and tracking. Okay, and confirmation and tracking. Which among the panelists or who among the panelists offer payment tracking? Also, sometimes our clients pay a big amount for their tickets. Tickets and tours, etc. Percentage charge is not practical in this case. Do you also offer fixed charges? Raymond, please.
Yeah, so I'll pick it up muna on, so we've been powering e-commerce platforms and payments and e-payments for the past actually 3-4 years. Lahat ng tools na makikita mo from major, I guess, e-commerce platforms, from instant payments and acknowledgements and all of that, it's already all there. And I think that's really part of how we process payments, especially now na pag yung mga nagta-travel is using Visa, MasterCard, BankNet, and the e-payments, the e-wallets themselves. On the other side naman, on getting the fixed payments, I believe that there are some programs that takes a look at that also. But that really depends on the type of payment or the mode of payment naman that the customer is using. And I think that's really critical. My advice and all the time is actually the acceptance of all forms of payments is it should be still the priority of all the merchants. Kasi yung mga customers na yan, definitely they're looking at the way that they want to pay. So yung advice ko is that, we always offer any form of payment and all forms of payments to the customer. And generally, yung may costs kasi talaga to process these payments. And then these are the things that we're trying to make sure that we give you the best solutions out there. So yun yung sa akin. Ma'am, you're on mute, ma'am.
Sorry. Okay. The same question for Johnny Bates, please. Hello.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with Raymond's point. I would also suggest for any online merchant to try to accept as many payment methods as possible. Now, on the question on tracking and real-time tracking of payments, when you onboard with GrabPay, we will give you a GrabPay merchant app. And there's also a web portal for it as well, where you have the ability to see all your transactions in real time, do analytic reports to see from a daily or weekly or monthly view. And you can also push instant refunds from that portal or from the app as well.
Okay, thank you. For GCash, Justin Yap, a question is, this time from Tyron Cosep. If, I think this is for Bangko Sentral, sorry. Bangko Sentral, Tyron Cosep is the one who sent the question. If the product I sell has intrinsic limitations or age limit rules, for example, for liquor, but meron minor na makabili either because they falsify their data or use an eligible friend's online payment facility, will I, as a seller, be held liable or not, considering yung customer naman ang gumawa ng fraud to be able to purchase the product? Sir Dimitri?
Baka kailangan ko ang tulong ng DTI para sumagot yan. Because from the payment channel, it's more of the entities that fall under our supervision, particularly yung financial institution. Diba? Yung financial institution, when it's engaged in the payment, yung pagbubukas na ng account with that kind of financial institution. Iba naman yung my understanding, yung bumili ng produkto, no? Ibinenta dun sa dapat hindi ipagbentahan. I think that's more of the question rather than the mode of payment.
Okay, ito na lang po yung tanong natin ulit sa inyo, sir. Sir Dimitri, does Bangko Sentral of the Philippines regulate GCash, PayMaya, Union Bank, and GrabPay?
Definitely, they are all licensed by us when it comes to their electronic money operations and banking operations. They went through our scrutiny, and they should know what kind of scrutiny they go through before they issue that kind of license.
Parang gusto natin bigyan ng floor din yung ating mga panelists ngayon to ask question from the Bangko Sentral. Meron bang gusto magtanong?
Alam mo, madadagdagan ko lang, marami silang tinatanong because we collaborate with them and we keep an open line of channel. Yun ang maganda dito eh. Kailangan we're in close contact, we do not cut ties, particularly in this day and age now where the model, the one size fits all model will no longer fit.
Yes.
Particularly when we're talking about technology. And there are others out there that they want to, let's say, try a new form of way to go about things, capitalizing on technology. And they're not also sure whether or not it falls, what regulations will apply. Kaya we're open to discuss with them because kung kailangan namin to go through a sandboxing, a test and learn approach, we do that.
Ganda yun.
It goes both ways. We both learn from the process and see which regulations, which policies need adjustment, if ever.
Okay, good to hear that. For GrabPay, Johnny Bates, the question is from Bon Jovi Layson, Australia. Do I really have to go through a video call for me to use credit card payment? I cannot go through the video call because I kept being dropped from the queue. Hope this can be resolved. Thank you. Johnny Bates?
Hi, Bon Jovi. Thank you for your question, and thank you also for your patience with that process. Actually, I'm very happy to announce that this week we rolled out a selfie feature for all eKYC. So if you could update your app and go back in, you'll see that there's now a simple selfie feature where you'll be able to do a selfie, submit, and I think within 1 to 2 days, you'll get approval, usually much quicker. So I think we've resolved this now. And thank you for trying, though, and for your patience.
Okay. This is really a very good opportunity for all our, consumers and even MSMEs to shoot their question, para ma-address. To anyone from our panelists, online payment gateway, can a company pay PhilHealth in any online facility? If yes, which one accepts payment for this government agency? PhilHealth daw, sinong tumatanggap ng bayad from among you? Meron ba? Union Bank?
Kami po. Yes, you can pay PhilHealth through our online business banking online channels. Yes.
GCash. How about GCash? Si GCash ba, Justin?
Hello, sa last kong check, are not available pa yung PhilHealth. Pero let me get back to the via one of my buddies para mas specific yung tanong natin yung sagot natin din sa tanong.
Yes. Thank you. GrabPay. How about GrabPay?
We're working to bring it very soon.
Good. PayMaya, please.
Napakalapit na. Konting kembot na lang nandyan na.
Okay, good to hear, Kasi maraming naghahanap talaga yan. Okay, from BSP this time, from Alvic Josol. In the near future, when the national ID system will be implemented, will Bangko Sentral allow the use of mobile phones and email addresses as easy, the remember proxies to enable more intuitive customer experience?
Well, actually, if perhaps maybe as an added additional reference, but the national ID should provide the actual needed identity already. So with the national ID in place, that smoothens yung process ng eKYC. Because right now, in the absence of the national ID, it's different kinds of government IDs na kailangan. At least when it comes around, which is sometime soon, all these things should be rationalized. The email address and mobile phone can be an additional reference, but not, I don't think, as a substitute for the national ID.
Okay, thank you, sir. Kanina nga, binabanggit rin ni Sir Dimitri na they're actually collaborating with all these gateways, para nga ma-update and they get to exchange information. Eto, may tanong na naman, is there an intervention of the DICT with this with these platforms, or just merely with the technological function of each platform or financial institutions, so that we know where to address legal and technological issues, especially the transaction to government institutions like SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig? Maybe we address that question to Sir Dimitri, please. Kasali po ba dito si DICT?
Actually, I hope you don't mind, Nelly. It's ginagawa mo naman akong Russo eh. Ako Dimitri, hindi Dimitri. Kaya minsan di ko alam kung ako yung sasagot or hindi. But then again, mabalik lang tayo dun sa DICT question. Again, the entities that fall under us, like yung mga financial institutions under our supervision, those are those that we license. So, should there be a need for any kind of coordination or DICT, there's a collaboration that happens. But when it comes to financial institutions, it's the BSP that has the primary role, particularly when it comes to banks, electronic money, issuers, money service business aspects. That's for the BSP.
Tayo, Mike. Okay, thank you very much po, Sir Vitri. Sorry po.
Okay lang.
Okay po, pampagising. For GCash, PayMaya, Union Bank, and GrabPay, sabi po ni Jennifer Baltazar, we are starting our online business and our marketing platform is Facebook and other social media. How do we integrate online payment system? Nasagot kanina, pero sige, baka gusto nyo lang ulitin. How do we integrate daw yung online payment because they're making use of Facebook as their online selling platform? Yes, we'll start with Raymond, please.
Yeah, so sa amin naman actually, yung thrust namin is the ability to accept all forms of payments, including ngayon yung bagong e-commerce. Nakikita kasi namin may bagong trend ngayon na hindi lahat sa website na. Actually, rekta usapan from Viber to Facebook Messenger, doon na nagtutuluyan yung e-commerce transactions. And I think that's one of the more exciting things that we're seeing. Sa Paymaya, we have a couple of new products that help service that. Anything from the ability na makapag-send ka ng QR dun sa kausap mo, at ngayon, pwede ka na rin mag-send ng payment links. Yung payment links na yon will then open up parang e-commerce checkout sa kabilang side. Yun yung pinaka, I guess, one of the things that we had to innovate. Normally kasi sa first world countries, walang ganon. Actually, sa emerging markets talaga lumitaw. Yung payment links na yon, I think, is one of the biggest innovations that we had to do just because the Philippines is trying to do and is doing something like that.
Okay, thank you. Johnny Bates, please.
Yes, we have just since lockdown rolled out a new feature specifically for social sellers. So if you are selling on Facebook or Instagram or some other form of social media, we have a product called GrabPay Link. And this allows you to send a link directly to the customer in whatever messaging form that they contact you. And when the customer clicks on the link, it'll open up the GrabPay app and you'll be able to enter in the amount and pay immediately. And on the seller side, using the GrabPay merchant app, they'll be able to see the transactions in real time. So we're very excited. We just launched it also since lockdown has started. So please email us at merchantsupport.ph@grab.com.
Justin?
Yes, so during quarantine, we've seen an adaptation dun sa aming QR product. So we're familiar with what she's trying to ask, no? So it's a combination of Facebook promotions and then via Messenger na nagkakatuluyan, as Raymond said, yung transaction via the QRs. Also, the links na sinasabi nila, we can introduce interested merchants to our partners to integrate for use of those payment links, whatever yung preference nila for the payment options.
Okay, thank you. And finally, we would like also to listen to JP. Doon naman sa tanong nung about Facebook. Yes, JP.
Yes, actually, pare-pareho kami lahat. We have payment links available in Box. User experience, napakadali. Just send payment link to, and then you open Facebook Messenger and then the name. But what we are seeing also right now is madaming mga businesses, merchants, or individuals are sending over QR codes through Viber, through Facebook Messenger. Kasi yung QR din po namin is already compliant with the QRPH. So nagagamit po siya even with other banks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, it's actually 5 minutes before 4.
Ma'am, Deli, may
Babalik na po
dadagdag
po
lang ako. I hope you don't mind para
Okay, may tanong din po ako actually sa inyo, sir. I-connect ko na lang din po for
sige.
Vitri. Ayun, Zainal, this is from Zainal de la Cruz. Sabi niya regulated. Babalik ko rin po yung tanong kanina sa inyo, and this one in addition, regulated po ba ang e-payment charges? Is government working toward the maging accessible as well as affordable na po for the masses ang e-payment? Yes, sir.
actually, as it is right now, when it comes to pricing, it's market driven. And we believe that market forces should pull it down. Because if ever mataas, you won't get that much. Competition will actually play a big part of it. What we're trying to work out is being able to come up with something more reasonable for, let's say, payments of the local of the micro person. Because ang maganda nga lang na yun, it's that under the ECQ, all these transfer fees through PesoNet and InstaPay have been waived. So that's good news. But when it comes to the smaller types of transactions, like later on, when we go back to the normal course of doing things, there perhaps may need to be a good way of revisiting also the fee structure. But then again, we believe in market forces, and that market forces should be able to pull it down rather than up. May dadagdag lang ako kanina ko sa
Go ahead.
You asked about the ICT, and what I forgot to note is that when we talk about internet, when we talk about lines of communication available, digital transactions are highly dependent on that. So I think that's where the DICT would come in, you know, and also ensuring that everyone has good internet connection, other than the providers themselves.
Yes po. Okay, thank you very much po. That's our final question from Sir V3. Sabi niya nga kanina, no, tandaan ko simula, digital must be in your DNA to remain relevant. Siguro final question natin po, tips na lang po pa galing sa ating mga panelists coming from the representatives of the Gateway. Short tips for MSMEs on how easy to do online payment. Maikli lang po, go ahead. We'll start with Raymond, please.
Yeah, sa akin is actually subukan nyo. Yun yung biggest tip ko. Kasi quite honestly, yung fear of starting is possibly going to be the biggest thing. Kasi pag nandyan na, actually makikita nyo napakasimple. So for us, download the Paymaya Negosyo app. Yun yung simula para naman sa Paymaya.
Okay, Johnny Bates, please.
Yep. If you're looking to enable online payments, the time is now more than ever. So I think just having an appetite to try it and realize how much more efficient it is to reach your customers online. With Grab, I mean, 1 out of 6 Filipinos are using our app. So having that type of reach in a time like this is really important. Our online sign-up system is really quite simple, and we'll be publishing something pretty robust in the next couple of days.
Okay, very competitive lahat, ano? Justin, some tips?
So, some tips. So, safety first. Wag natin i-share yung mga details natin. And of course, feel free to try all the platforms kasi acceptance, like parang open tayo dapat sa lahat ng pwede ding matry ng mga means. Kasi ngayon, it's for our safety rin, sa our convenience. So, reach out to us at I want GCash QR at mint.xyz at tutulungan namin kayo to onboard.
Okay. Thank you. Safety first. Try all the platforms. Ang sinasabi ni Justin. This time from JP, please, of Union Bank. Tips
Yes,
for
napakaganda ng mga tips na binigay ng mga co-panelists natin. So dalawang bagay na lang po. Google Play or Apple App Store, just look for Union Bank online and go to bux.ph.
Okay. Wala siya. Okay, thank you very much po. And this time, we'd like to ask MD Vitri, siguro some words. Thank you very much po talaga, sir, for joining us, the Managing Director for FinTech Subsector of the Central Bank of the Philippines. Sir Vitri. Sir, final words po.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank DTI for actually sponsoring something like this, because this is very much needed in increasing awareness. Kudos, all power ASEC Gene. Continue on the good work. And one last thing in terms of going digital, I mentioned it earlier. Nail it, adapt to it, embark on it. NAE, now is the time to go digital to remain relevant. And always always remember to protect your jewels, your identity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, to be relevant, be digital. And ladies and gentlemen, kinakapos po talaga tayo ng oras. But for those who are interested in DTI's reboot package, we repeat, it is a work in progress. Kindly keep yourselves posted and wait until further notice. Full package inclusions and other details will be made available once it has been finalized. Thank you so much po. And once again, we'd like to thank our Central Bank Managing Director for FinTech Subsector, Sir Vicente de Villa III. Ayaw ko nang V3, baka mawawala naman ako. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much also to the Vice President of Union Bank, JP Soliman. Thank you to the Vice President and Sales Head for Offline Payments of GCash, Justin Yap. For GrabPay, Country Head, GrabPay Philippines, Johnny Bates. Paymaya, Head of Business for QR Ecosystems, Raymond Villanueva. Maraming salamat po sa inyo for joining us. And before we finally end, let me just flash on screen again the result of the poll. our question early on it was, what is the most important factor in considering an online payment platform? 70% of the respondents said it's security. Security meaning secured information, account details, etc. Second is 19% for reliability, fast transactions, low or zero additional charges. And then they said acceptability, interoperability can be accepted on any payment platforms, okay, 6%. And cost-wise, affordability of charges and other fees. Hindi naman pala masyado importante sa kanila kung mahal ba siya o mura, di ba? Importante, secured yung kanilang linya. Okay, mga kaibigan, nagpapasalamat po ulit kami sa inyo. Abangan po ninyo ang ating pong schedule na susunod at 4 o'clock is, saan na yung aking listahan? Okay, ipa-flash na lang po namin siya sa inyong screen mamaya kung ano po yung susunod. But anyway po, we'd like to thank our learning partners, THEMS International Business School. Thank you, Joel. Hindi na kita nakita. Of course, Philippine Trade Training Center, the Department of Trade and Industry E-Commerce, our agency partner, Wonderman Thompson, enabling partners, Food Panda, GCash, Globe My Business, Lalamove, Google, Lazada, PayMaya, PayLink, GoGo, Shopee, Grab, TransUnion, Union Bank, Zalora, Leadmore, Air 21, Gawin PH, FedEx, PLDT, Enterprise, Shop Pinas, Zilingo. And we have the last two programs, it's afternoon sessions that will cover. One is how to finance your e-commerce transformation. That will be at 5 o'clock today. And finally, we will be wrapping up our series 2 of the Control Biz Reboot Now with a masterclass, bakit para sa iyo ang e-commerce? Okay? O baka naman hindi naman talaga. So find that out. Economics of e-commerce, that's at 6:30 tonight. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, sabi nga natin, don't conclude that the business will be terrible at this time of pandemic. It will just be different, and taking a step towards starting and registering your online business is the beginning of your different business. Mga kaibigan, sa ngalan po ng aming ASEC po dito sa DTI E-Commerce, ASEC Jean Pacheco, and of course our Secretary Mon Lopez of the Department of Trade and Industry. This has been Nelly Diliera of the Philippine Trade Training Center. Thanking all of you for joining us this afternoon, and catch us at 5 o'clock and again at 6:30. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Thank you.